say, Wilf, do you want to come and have a look at the tadpoles? He loves them. Don't poke them.
What? You're poking them.
Don't poke them.
I want to touch.
Yeah, but their tails might fall off and then they can't grow legs.
I did the same thing.
I'm dressed like this because I'm going to a funeral. Well, I'm not going to the funeral. No one can go to the funeral apart from close family. Dear lady in the village who we all adored, elderly lady in her late 80s. She passed away about 3 weeks ago, and well, we're all wearing red. I don't have a lot of red in my wardrobe. And we are at a socially acceptable distance, lining her route to the church, bless her. Just so her family know that she was loved. Oh, and she was loved. She was called Brenda, and she was just a joy, an absolute joy. Struggling a bit here, struggling to get there because we've got there's a few vehicles around, and we've got tractors trying to get about, and they're blocking the roads. But you know, they're trying to do their job. Anyway, we're on the move now. So, oh, there's loads of people around. Oh, it's so... Oh, I feel really emotional. Oh, there's so many people. Oh, there's so many people out for her. Oh, bless her heart. Oh, I'm so glad. Nowhere to flipping park though. Oh no, I better not park in there. Oh. Right, I'm going to park down here. Well, that was one of the most emotional things. I've had to come out of the house. Can you hear that? Bless him. He's not doing bad, but it's loud. Oh, my rose. It's beginning to flower. There's going to be loads of blooms on that. Going into my greenhouse. State of my face, look at me. That's what happens when you've had a good cry. I recorded after waving Brenda off a piece to camera, but I started crying and I couldn't stop. So you're not going to see that one because nobody needs to see Gaynor ugly crying. So I thought whilst I'm bent over like a flea, I would have a little chat about lovely Brenda and say what I said when I was in the car straight afterwards, but hopefully this time without crying like a baby. Ooh, once I get going, that's it, I can't stop. Just planting, this is a tomato plant that I've grown from seed from my friend Joe, turnip, and it was home saved seed. So I find that really exciting, which is daft. Right, okay, I'm trying to think what I said, what I need to say again. As you know, I drove down to the village this afternoon to be with many other villagers. Loads of people turned out. It was wonderful. To say goodbye to Brenda, who was a lifelong occupant of the village. She was born and raised here, married here, had her children here. I think some of the children still live here. She's got grandchildren. Move you around. And I got to know her through the cafe. Oh, I'm jumping about like mad. Right. I think I'm gonna have to start again. So Brenda was well known and well loved, really just adored. Not just because she lived here her entire life, but because of the kind of woman she was. She was just so vibrant and loving, giving and entertaining, and she was in her late 80s, and you'd sometimes see her striding out. He'd say, "Where are you going, Brenda?" She goes, "Oh, I'm going to the garden centre." And I'd be, that's 4 miles away. Yes, I'm going to walk across the fields. Oh, would you get a taxi back then? No, I'll walk back over the fields. And she was just lovely, and she was interested in everybody, interested in their lives, remembered things you told her, always had a story to share. So she used to come into the cafe before I'd opened. So we used to open at, I can't remember if it was 9 or 9:30, but I used to get there half an hour earlier to get the machine warmed up, and she'd often be walking by and she'd look in the window and I'd wave and say, "Come on in, I'll make you a cup of tea." So I'd make her a cup of tea and she'd sit there and we'd have a chat. Invariably she was wearing her red coat, one of many, it turns out. She had about 4 in her wardrobe, identical. And she always had lovely earrings that looked like shiny buttons, that they were like costume jewellery, clip-on earrings. And a massive red-lipped smile, red lipstick. She was always impeccably turned out. She had a lovely array of hats. She's a lady of that era, you know. And after a chat with Brenda, you couldn't help but feel like all was well in the world. Now this is ridiculous. My hands are covered in mud and I'm wearing a silk skirt. Yikes. Never mind. And obviously Brenda she just had a way with people, and people loved her, and that was evident today. We were all, so many people stood at a socially distant, respectable pace apart from one another. Hang on. Whew. There we go. And we knew that Brenda was on her way because you could hear clapping from all the way down the road. Just this lovely wave of clapping. And her family was stood slightly behind from me, and as Brenda drove by, oh, and what was really special was I can't remember what you called them, like the coffin bearers. The head coffin bearer was stood shoulder to shoulder with the vicar. I say shoulder to shoulder, obviously at a distance, walking ahead of the hearse. So it was like a proper procession, and she deserved that. And she went by, and her family was there, and I just caught sight of them, and oh, they just looked so proud and chuffed at the turnout, but also devastated, not surprisingly, because, God, Brenda. Wasn't so long ago that I saw her. I was driving along, it was just before lockdown, and she had a stick, and I did think, oh, Brenda's got a stick. Not seen her with a stick before. Anyway, I slowed up, window down. Hi, Brenda. Oh, hello. And she went like this with her stick. I thought, oh, she's all right. And she had her lipstick on. Bless her, dear of her. Such a special lady. She is going to be so hugely missed. She would have loved today, not because it was for her, but she'd have loved to have been involved in clapping. And afterwards, I went to Franca's house, and we had a socially distant glass of Prosecco with two other ladies in the garden for half an hour, just to make more of an event of it, because obviously we couldn't be there at the funeral. But we could hear the funeral because it was a graveside funeral, and normally funerals take place in England inside the church, but for obvious reasons it was outside the church this time. So we were privileged to be able to hear that. I did well, didn't I? I didn't cry. I've tried to do this several times and got myself a little bit in a pickle. We've just had fish and chips. It was delicious. Well, I had a fish cake. I haven't had one of those in years. I'm stuffed now. I'm going to water my pots and wash my face, put on my pyjamas and have a cup of tea and see if I can do a bit of knitting. My elbow's been pretty good today, actually. Yeah, it's a bit twingy when I do that, but it's not too bad. So I'm going to take it steady. Yesterday I did my task by task vlog. I should have done it on a day when I was wearing nice clothes and had lots and lots of little jobs rather than the big jobs of 45 minutes mopping a floor and 45 minutes cleaning on the sweep properly. But hey ho. They were the jobs that were calling the loudest yesterday, so they are the jobs that got the attention. Right, going to water in these tomatoes that I just planted and water my bits and bobs. And see you all tomorrow. I bid you good night. God bless. And I wish that you all have a Brenda in your life, because everybody needs a Brenda. So, 1 minute till the NHS clap. It's a case of go big or go home for us tonight. It's still going, isn't it? We should learn Morse code. He's loving it, absolutely loving it. My car doesn't beep very loudly, so I had to come out of the cover because otherwise no one would hear me, because it goes like this. Beep, 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 beep. I know I said in the greenhouse that was me done for the night and good night, but I'm still here. Look, I've got one of bean flowers, but also they are covered in black fly. So I'll be out with my soapy water spray tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm being horrible. I'm squashing them all. I know that's mean, but I want my run of beans. Really getting going now. Oh, it's just such a joy when things grow. Look at those. I could have done with getting canes, but I didn't have enough. Probably have to go to the garden centre at some point. I don't want to go out. I got a message. I was tagged on somebody's photo by Bex Luddy Stitch, who recognised in this photograph my mystery bulb that I've got here. Apparently it's Sicilian honey garlic and the bees go mad for it. She's not wrong. That is so pretty. They are so pretty from that aspect. They're pretty ugly from that aspect, a bit triffidy. But look at how cute that is. To lie on the ground to enjoy them. Look at the bees. Look at the pollen on that bee's legs. Focus, please. Look at the pollen. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, hello, busy bee. He's going to be weighed down by it. Oh, aren't they lovely? Look how much this has already begun to open up since yesterday when I tried to eat it. Was that yesterday? No, that was the day before. Oh, I don't know what day it is.